Now, for hundreds of years, the buried city of Pompeii has given archaeologists astonishing snapshots of life in ancient Rome, but it still holds some secrets.
Yeah, even now. Our science editor, Rebecca Morell, is in Pompeii to find out about the biggest discovery for a generation and sent us this report.
It's been hidden for 2,000 years. Now, a once-in-a-century discovery emerges. The grandest of spaces, with a perfectly preserved plunge pool where up to 30 people could bathe. It's the centrepiece of a sumptuous bath complex in a private residence.
For a private house, it's actually enormous. It's, I think, the biggest found here in Pompeii in a private home. Think in the hot summers, your feet in the water and chatting with your friends, maybe a cup of wine. The bath complexes always have something very intimate. These spaces that really are part of the Pompeii effect. You go there and you can really imagine being there 5 minutes ago or 2,000 years ago.
Looming over the site, Mount Vesuvius. Its volcanic eruption buried the ancient city. This is Pompeii's biggest excavation in a generation. It's been followed over 2 years by a documentary team, the discoveries helping us to imagine Roman life. There's a set sequence of rooms in the bathhouse, and you'd start in here, the hot room. You'd take a dip, first of all, and this floor is actually a suspended floor, allowing hot air to flow underneath. And you can see in the wall there's a cavity where warmth would circulate. Next up, you have the warm room, where oil would be rubbed into your skin and then scraped off using a special instrument called a strigil. Then come with me through this narrow doorway and emerge into a changing room. You'd sit down on one of these benches where you'd remove your sandals. Then you would cross this mosaic floor, which is dotted with marble from across the Roman Empire, before you emerge into the extraordinary cold room where you'd take a plunge. An entire block has now been unearthed. At the front is a bakery and laundry. At the back, the grand residence, with a banqueting hall known as the Black Room, as well as the bath complex. Close by, in a smaller room, a stark discovery was made. The remains of a woman aged between 35 and 50 were found lying on the edge of a bed, and a younger man in his teens or early 20s was discovered close to a doorway.
I think they thought they were safe in this room. They'd evidently been here for about 18 hours already, and they'd barricaded themselves in. They'd closed the window, the doors. So the pyroclastic flow had come from Vesuvius along the street just outside this room and had caused this wall to collapse, and that had basically crushed him to death. So in fact, she was still alive while he was dying. And then this room filled with the rest of the pyroclastic flow, and that's how she died.
The young man's bones show wear and tear, suggesting he was of lower status, perhaps even a slave. The woman, though, is in good condition, and valuable items found with her suggest she was higher up in society.
Ah, and you've got the items here.
These are now kept in Pompeii's vault.
Wow, they are spectacular.
Gold coins still gleaming, and gold and natural pearl earrings, and intricately etched gemstones, one showing the god Mercury.
What emotion does it provoke when you find personal objects like this?
It was a great emotion because when we found this kind of object, the distance from ancient times and modern times disappears. And we can touch a small piece of the life of these people.
Also in the room with the skeletons, there was a marble table with an assortment of pots, jugs and bowls, and an unusual lamp.
The handle has the shape of a moon. The moon is something that ancient Roman were used to give to ladies to protect the fertility, to protect the feminine.
The excavation here is now coming to an end. But even in its final weeks, traces of these lost Roman lives continue to emerge from the volcanic ash. Rebecca Morell, BBC News, Pompeii.